That's the click you missed. Now,
Oh, that's weird because it didn't give it to me.
I did it. You went to
No.
bottom left, start your video, and then maximize it up above.
And you're not muted. Right here?
Your up one more. Yep, that one. There you go. All right.
Good morning. It's 9 o'clock. Call to order the regular meeting of the Union County Board of Commissioners. Today is Wednesday, May 6th, 2020. Again, it's just a little after 9. Please join me in the salute to our flag if you're able. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Just muted by now. Sorry, we got weird things going on with the clocks in here this morning. I'd like to welcome everyone, starting with item number 2, public comments. Joe Fisher, Union County Building. Are you on the line, Joe?
Yes, I am on the line.
Whenever you are ready, sir.
Okay. I'm hoping I had emailed Allison a copy of the proposed budget quite some time ago. I'm hoping you all have it in front of you. Basically, the building inspection budget is not much different than in previous years. This was the first year that I actually prepared the budget, so kind of tweaked numbers here and there. Some of them were well padded that we never came within 3 times of using, so brought some of those numbers down. No real major changes in the budget. I did adjust the projected revenues to more closely what we've seen the last few years, which is a little more Union County permit sales or valuation and permit costs than City of LeGrand. Other than that, is there any questions? And the other thing is the budget was approved by the City of LeGrand Budget Committee on the 26th, I do believe, of last month, through an exciting Zoom meeting fashion. Is there any questions on the budget?
Any questions? Mr. Beveridge? Okay. I would entertain a motion to adopt
Actually,
Or approved?
this is more informational. The agreement that we have with the city of LeGrand, the contract we have, they're responsible for the adoption of the budget.
Okay.
One of the provisions is though that the county has the opportunity to review it and comment. So even though the budget committee for the city has approved it, it has not yet been adopted by the governing body. So if you had any concerns, we could share those with Joe and he could relay those. So basically just an acknowledgement that you've had the presentation and are okay with it is all we need.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it, especially pulling out the padding and keeping it in similar line with what it's been. Appreciate that. Any further comments from you?
That is all.
Thank you. Have a great day. We appreciate you.
Okay. Oh, I see I'm further down on the agenda. Well, at least I'll be here through the second reading of the code amendment.
At 10 o'clock. Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay.
Item 3, elected officials, department heads, and employee comment. Scott Hartel, Planning Director, East Kelts Lane dedication.
That's not him. On there.
We will, seeing he's not on the line and working through that, I'm assuming, Brian Clapp, Weed Supervisor,
Yes, sir.
please.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Name and address, right?
Please.
Brian Clapp, Union County Weed Control, 10507 North McAllister Road. All right. And I have brought and ran the weed list for 2020, or for y'all to approve or disapprove. It's same one in the email that I sent y'all about a month ago, except for I forgot to put dog rose was in the email saying that the state had recommended that we add that, but I did not have that on the list that was attached to that email.
Class B.
Class B.
Thank you.
So, and must thistle used to be on our watch list. It was on one of our lists, and when we condensed the list a couple of years ago, it came off and accidentally. Honestly, I spray it every year, so it'd be great to have it back on the list.
You accidentally put it back on, but you're happy you did it? So
No, I accidentally took it off. And so when because it used to, the weed list used to name exactly where it was on and whose property it was on. And
Right.
we decided that probably wasn't the best public document to have.
Sure.
So we took all that off, and that's when the Mustis last one got deleted. So, but yeah, we still treat it. We don't have that much of it. It's pretty important. Bloomless thistle is in Wallowa County. I imagine it's probably in Umatilla County, but it would be a good one to keep an eye out for. Turkish thistle is really bad. We're going to go down and spray that in Wallowa County next week. Luckily, as far as we know, the closest it is below the middle of lower Naha. I mean, it's down by Cow Creek, but
Okay.
might as well put it on the list just to,
Right.
something to watch for. Dog roads, I've seen pictures, that's it. I've never seen one. Supposedly we may or may not have it. What we're calling Sweetbriar Rose might be dog rose. So the state's going to come in with this this year. We're going to take a look and see. But he suggested adding it to the list so that way you don't go to somebody's patch and say, oh, well, that one's actually not a Sweetbriar. So even though you have rose bushes all over your patch, it can't help you with it because it's not on the list. So that will happen, you can't do sort of enforcement or anything.
So, I mean, other than like some of the usual suspects, the white top, the Vetnado, things like that, is anything rising to a level of, I mean, are you seeing a lot of growth in any of these that we haven't had?
The Rose Campion that we added, I think, last year,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe it's just because we're looking for it more.
Okay.
Finding it more. I think that seems to be it.
Right.
When I started, a lot of the weed inventories were from old Tri-County stuff that they did off and on for through grants and some the county did. And so the more we look, the more we find. It's not that it's necessarily new, it's just we didn't know it was there. Yeah, this I think is going to be a bag of white top here, just looking around. Scotch thistle's looking really healthy too. But Yeah, rush skeleton, we're finding scattered more and more, but it's a plant that can travel, seeds can travel over 30 miles and they're very viable. So, in fact, one of the contractors just found it at the golf course last week when he was spraying the toad flax. So apparently our public works knew about that. I did not, but so yeah, it's scattering around. We just got to keep after it. The rush skeleton is probably the one that we're really going to be looking for hard this year. And we don't want to look like the Boise Valley.
Right.
So,
Okay. Commissioner?
I would say I appreciate it. You're right, with all the rain and everything, it's gonna be a banner weed year. But you guys are doing a good job of keeping up on things. You don't want white top and all, and I know that you sent out letters to landowners here lately. And so hopefully encourage those people to respond.
hopefully, the hawkweed letters get great responses. White top, not so much. I sent out, I think, 128 letters. I've got like 3 or 4 responses from white top letters, I think.
Are you gonna do like a press release or anything like that?
Yeah, probably. I wanted to do one for Puncture Vine in particular this year because we really like to get after that again. But yeah, I need to get some more of those things out. Maybe start putting on Elkhorn's Facebook page or something.
Yeah.
So.
White top, we don't want that taken over. Or any of these weeds, but I'm just saying. Thank you.
When's your next tour? For that happen? Yeah.
I was gonna say, are we all need a separate vehicle?
A
virtual.
Yeah, we do the Zoom tour of the valley.
And that would be a GoPro. I can just put on my head and ride around the port right there. We'll see.
I got nothing. Mr. Chair, I move to approve the 2020 noxious weed list.
I'll second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the Union County 2020 noxious, 2020 or 2021? 2020 noxious weed list. Discussion? Seeing none, call for the roll call vote, or for the vote, please.
Commissioner Scarpa,
Aye.
Commissioner Beveridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Andrews.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Doesn't look like Scott's joined us yet. London. Next is item C, Dana London, Buffalo Peak Golf Course General Manager, Golf Course Update. The floor is yours, sir.
Good morning. This stuff's kind of new to me, so I'm hoping you can hear me.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we're good, bro.
Okay, good. I'm not really sure what kind of update to give you. Basically, right now, I think that if all the things that I can control, with the exception of the weather and the COVID-19 stuff, Buffalo Creek is on a pretty good path right now. The excitement level is back. But I'm also being cautiously optimistic right now. I think we're getting a lot of play because there's not much else to do. I think that right now, if we keep the pace that we're going, might actually be able to achieve some of these budget numbers, with the exception of tournaments, which every tournament thus far has been canceled or postponed. And of course, no beer sales is a big part of our budget numbers, so I can't sell any beer. Golf shop sales have increased. We have some product in there that people want to buy. We're kind of changing up the logos a little bit and things of that nature, so that when somebody comes in, they might see something that looks the same, but the logo is different. Kind of like, I don't know if you can see this logo I got on here. This is a logo that I designed for the 20th anniversary of Buffalo Peak. It was supposed to be a really big banner year for Buffalo Peak. We'll hopefully be able to pull most of that out. Again, look, learn, and listen is still what I'm doing. Probably be for the remainder of this calendar year. We did meet with a horticulturist to come out and do some reviews of the greens and the fairways, and we definitely have some issues out there that have been, going on in for the past, 15 years or so. And we're entering into a program with them that hopefully in 2 or 3 years from now, our greens will be the best greens in all of Northeastern Oregon for sure. I don't know what else to tell you, but I'm happy to be here. I'm thrilled to be your general manager, and I'm thrilled to be at Buffalo Peak.
Thank you. Commissioner?
Thank you for doing everything you're doing in the middle of this crisis and keeping things safe out at Buffalo Peak. We appreciate that.
Yeah, we definitely are giving that the extra effort.
Hey, keep up the good work, bro. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hearing good things. Anybody else? Thank you.
Okay, I'm off to work. Have a good day.
You too.
Item D, Public Works Director Wright.
Perfect timing.
You have the big table. Item number 1, FAA grant acceptance.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
You got the big table there.
Yeah. Make do. So this is a follow-up, basically through federal aviation, and just to kind of recap a bit, as you know, we went out to bid or open bids on March 31st, and High Desert and Aggregate, they were the apparent low bidder. Since then, we have sent off all of the documentation necessary to federal aviation for their review, and I've received back the approval to move forward with our award to High Desert and Aggregate. And so, again, they have reviewed the documents and have found it complete. And they want us to award High Desert Aggregate Paving in the amount of $6,062,472. Any questions?
I don't have any. Commissioner? I will say I sat in on the bid process and thought it was going to be more exciting than it was. But it's, I mean, especially, and that even then we were doing things over the phone, and the folks were in the parking area out here. Thank you for putting this together. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to, excuse me, get the right wording here, to approve the FAA grant for the airport. Let's see, runway 16-34 and taxway D rehabilitation.
In the amount of,
Okay.
please.
In the amount of $6,062,472.
Thank you.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the award, FAA bid award, runway 1634 and taxiway D rehabilitation in the amount of $6,062,472. Discussion?
Should we add the High Desert? Do we need to have that in the motion or not? Or is it just self? Do you need that?
Yeah, you probably should put that in there
Okay.
because we are awarding the project to High Desert and Aggregate Paving.
Okay. I'll just say we can amend your motion to have that wording in there.
Perfect.
To award High Desert Aggregate Paving in the amount of $6,062,472. Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Scarpelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Beveridge?
Aye.
Commissioner Hernandez?
Aye. Thank you. That's what's money out of it. Kind of scary.
Next on the list, road stabilization material. So Union County Public Works, we went out to bid for road stabilization material, also commonly known as dust abatement. That's what most folks think of it as, is dust abatement. But we treated as stabilization material to put on our hill roads to be able to reduce maintenance costs and to keep the washboard down. And so we went out to bid and received 2 bids, one from Ed Staub and Sons and the other from Heck Jones. Now, through the course of this process and receiving the bids, reviewing the bids, et cetera, we have 2 different products here. And Ed Staub and Sons, their product is called EnviroBind, which is Earthbind 100. And then it's more of a, let me just say, environmentally friendly type material, but also in the same bid process, we received a bid from Heck Jones, and they use mag chloride. Mag chloride, as you know, is commonly used as a de-icer for roads and so forth, but it is also a good material for road stabilization. And we took a look at this, and basically we wanted a price quote per ton. And Heck Jones, they quoted us $210 per ton. The Earthbind, we weren't quite sure how they arrived at their price. They put in $1,077 of liquid concentrate. And upon further review of their bid, it was determined that, okay, they get concentrate, they mix it into their truck and with water, and then they apply the product. So couldn't really tell what they had as far as price per ton. And so then I'm going to request that we go with Heck Jones with mag chloride for $210 a ton, only because we know what that product is and we've had good success with that product. But also at the same course, I mean, I don't want to discount Ed Staub and Sons. But one thing about looking at and how Earthbind 100 works, it can be a double process as far as application. It can be treated as a stabilization, but the method and the process is different than just applying it topical. I mean, there's a mixing process into the road bed and so forth. Now, it's not to say that we don't do the same thing with mag chloride, but we prep, we prepare, and so forth, and then we ensure that we're going to get what we pay for. But what I want to do is I want to go with Heck Jones for our majority of our roads, but I also want to try Earthbind. I want to try it on one of our hill roads as a test. Apply the product, see what we can get price per ton. I'd like to go in, work with Ed Staub and say, okay, let's take a section of road. Let's apply it how we think it should be applied according to manufacturer's recommendations and so forth. And just let's see, and then let's compare that cost and see which product is going to be more beneficial to the county. Which one's going to work better for us? Which one is going to be a better price for us? And which one is going to last longer? Now then, you probably know this, but Ed Staub does a lot for the folks in the valley. We'll go out, we'll prep the road, but all we do is blade it, smooth it up to be able to have a smooth running surface. And then Ed Staub will come in with his equipment and they'll apply it, and they just apply a top coating. And then they may come back in later on, maybe whatever they negotiated with the landowner, and they'll apply another. So there is a different variation. I mean, with the mag chloride, we apply it once and we're done. I want to be able to see, okay, can we do the same thing with EnviroBond? Can we do that Earthbind 100? And can we do that as well? Apply it once according to manufacturer recommendations and see how that holds up as well. I think what we have here is 2 products, 2 different ways of doing business, but I'd like to see which one would give us the most benefit. So for now, I'd like to recommend that we go with Heck Jones for a majority of our roads. And then in the same token, we would work with Ed Staub and Sons and do a test plot and see how that's going to work out for us.
So as a liaison, Director Wright and I have visited with this about a fair amount, and there was a little bit of, for me, I wasn't positive on how they were meeting the bid specs. But I mean, I do know that Heck Jones, and it's a company that Union County has used in the past with good success, met the specs, and it's a known item. So I would, as Director Wright suggested, we go with them. But at the same time, the Ed Staub and Son, work with them and do a demo and see how their product compares without making a full-blown commitment to buy exclusively from them. So that's what I would suggest for a motion. And questions, Commissioner?
Yeah, I definitely like the idea of testing the other one because all the things that you talked about, finding out cost per mile, you know, comparing the two, and local company, like you said, they're different, but there's so many variables. So I like the idea that you're going to work with them and test it because it may in the long run be the best way to go. But for now, I'm okay with going with the bid the way it is, but I definitely think we need to be working with Ed Staub and seeing what that will do, because I know local people use them for their dust abatement. So.
Yeah, and again, I go for road stabilization. I'm not trying to just keep the dust down, but at the same time, what we do, it does keep the dust down. But yeah, I agree. It's like, how do we know what they put down, how do we get it to where it's a stabilization and we're comfortable with it and just see how it works.
And then length of time that it works, all that kind of stuff, getting that all figured out, because, yeah.
I just want to say thank you. You answered all my questions. Because when I saw this bid, I'm like, okay, what happened here? But that makes a lot of sense. And your plan that's what I would suggest as well. So I am all on board. Yeah, appreciate it. I move to approve the bid to Heck Jones and as well as a sample from Ed Staub and Sons with the Earthline to Public Works for road stabilization.
I would second that.
It's been properly moved and seconded to accept the bid from Heck Jones for mag chloride with a demo of Earthline from Ed Staub for this year's road stabilization treatment. Discussion? Seeing none, call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Scarfo?
Aye.
Commissioner Beveridge?
Aye.
Commissioner Andrew?
Aye.
So next on our list is that Union County Public Works went out to bid for emulsion oil, also known as chip seal oil. We received 3 bids, one from Albina, one from Western State Emulsions, and one from Idaho Asphalt. Albina emulsion was $440 per ton, Western States was $485 per ton, and Idaho Asphalt was $436.50 per ton. I recommend Idaho Asphalt be awarded the contract for emulsion/chip seal oil this coming chip seal season. Questions?
FOB delivered?
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, and we have that set up with distributor and so forth. Part of that price as well. So,
Thank you.
actually, I should say in addition to.
Right.
I would make a motion to approve the bid from Idaho Asphalt for emulsion for the chip seal oil.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to accept the Idaho Asphalt emulsion chip seal oil bid in the amount of $436.50 per ton. Discussion?
Looks like a good deal to me compared to the other two. Well, compared to the one especially.
Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Scarfo?
Aye.
Commissioner Beveridge?
Aye.
Commissioner Andrew?
Aye.
And just a quick little update regarding signs, ATV signs. We're in the process of getting those up. We have most of them up already. So on the roads that are according to our ordinance and so forth, and basically they're a sign that just has a ATV with a circle in it and no ATV, and then underneath in black and white our ordinance and number, so that way that's enforceable. So while the sheriff deputies are out doing the patrol and so forth, it's clearly marked. So we are doing that.
Without a sign, there would be like, well, I know, right?
Exactly, right. So took us a little while, but
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Planning Director Hartel on the line.
number.
I have a 7.
I know the last four is one of the first three.
You gonna do it now?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and text him.
Consent agenda, can we move to that yet? Is that all right?
I move to approve.
Can you call into the meeting? For the East Coast Lane dedication. I'll second it.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. Call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Scarpa,
Aye.
Commissioner Beveridge,
Aye.
Commissioner Andrews.
Aye. Moving to administrative matters, A, letter of support for the Hot Lake Grant project. Shelley?
Yes, I received an email request from Michael Riceby, who is the new manager at the Hot Lake Motel. And I included a copy of the email in your package so you can see what he was asking for. He's indicated that he is going to be pursuing grants to improve the condition of the building. He's working with a local nonprofit to coordinate the historic preservation aspects, and he was asking for a letter of support from the commissioners for that endeavor. He had provided a copy of a letter of support from the Union County Chamber and requested that you consider a letter of support, which I drafted. Because it was not, I don't have information about a specific grant for a specific piece of the project. I think he was looking for kind of a general letter of support that could be included with the grant opportunities that might come up. So it's a little bit general, the letter that I've drafted. So put that together for you as a place to start for you to talk about whether or not you would like to consider a general letter like this, or of course, if you prefer, we could indicate that you would consider specific letters for specific grants. Really, the option is yours. I was just bringing forward the request as I received it.
Commissioner?
Shelley, in the past, is this something the county has done?
Letters of support or?
Yeah, for similar projects like Liberty and different things.
It's not unusual for the county to be asked to give letters of support. Typically, they are based on an actual grant application that we know more specifics about. We know who it's going to and what the specific project is. So yeah, letters of support are not unusual, but oftentimes more detail is wanted.
So, yeah, so this sound like this more general one sounds like something that I mean, I'm okay with it, but you may want something more specific if he gets into, specific grants.
Mr. Chair.
Sorry.
I'm all for this project. I just want to be clear. I love his idea of what he's going to do up there. I think it's one of the best ideas I've heard for that location. But letters of support, I always have to do okay, maybe there will be a business coming down the road that really just goes out there like an exotic club that's asking for a letter of support that's going in a historical spot too, and it's controversy, and it's like, well, you gave one to so-and-so, where's mine? I'm in the county too, I'm doing the same things he's doing, and all that. So I'm all for this. I don't mind this helping out for a grant deal. I'm just saying it's, there's always that.
Right.
There's always that someone else asking, which is not maybe, it's going to cause some controversy.
And I think that's to a degree what our job is, to sort through them. So I guess the comments I would make is, it says here, Commissioner Beveridge also suggested I ask about upcoming grant revisions. I would caution Can someone mute their phone, please? It's a 0894 last four digits.
Scott Hartel, County Planning Director.
Right. Scott, can you mute for a moment?
Sorry about that.
No, we're good. I would not only the Grand Hot Springs folks, but everybody, I would caution that that is lottery dollar driven and has potential to be much less than it's been in the past. I don't want to in any way, shape, or form as a commission indicate that we're going to be sending money out that we potentially don't have. So I would suggest that we approve the draft letter as written, and then if he has more specific requests, we can address those when they come.
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to approve the draft letter for Grand Hot Springs. Discussion?
I think overall for economic development in Union County and bringing in TRT dollars, them working with us and us working with them, along with all the other entities in Union County that help with economic development, I think it's important that we work together. And so that's one reason I think this is a good idea.
Seeing no further discussion, call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Scarpelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Beveridge? Commissioner Banther?
Aye. Planning Director Hartel, East Kelts Lane dedication. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Commissioners, and good morning. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm driving into the office right now. Anyway, East Kelts Lane is a roadway right away within Island City's jurisdiction. It'll be maintained and serviced by Island City. However, when you do a dedication of a roadway, the statutory requirements are the county has to sign off on the dedication. So this morning, the obligation of the county commissioners, I guess, if you choose to sign the document, is just for acceptance of county or city road right away for a city function, and in no way obligates the county to any maintenance responsibility to this roadway.
Thank you. Questions? Comments?
It seems like Island City's already approved it.
Right.
And everybody, so we're just the last box to check for this. Good. So, I don't have any.
It needs to be done, so thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the City of Island City East Kelts Lane dedication right away.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to accept the East Kelts Lane dedication right away. Seeing no discussion, I'll call for the vote, please.
Commissioner Scarpelli?
Aye.
Commissioner Beveridge?
Aye.
Commissioner Banther?
Aye. Thank you, Director Hartel. And we are in recess until 10 a.m., where we will be have second reading of ordinance 2020-2 adopting City of LeGrand building codes, followed at 10:15 by a presentation from Chamber Executive Director on tourism promotion in Chamber of Commerce. See you at 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I get,
I'll look at the errors after.
dang over here.
Okay.
Sorry, guys.
Who's talking, Allison Moore?
Okay.
We hot?
Yep.
Looks like it.
Clock, we will reconvene. Public hearing, second reading ordinance 2020-2, adopting City of LeGrand building codes. Staff report, Mrs. Burgess.
All right, you have before you today ordinance 2020-02. It's in the matter of an ordinance adopting the current and each successive structural, mechanical, plumbing, electrical, manufactured dwelling installation, energy efficiency, Oregon REACH, Oregon Solar and Fire Code as adopted by the state of Oregon, repealing all other ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith. You held a public hearing on April 15th and approved the first reading of the ordinance. And so we had announced this date and time for the second reading and potential adoption of the ordinance. Prior to the first public hearing, we did have a work session with building official Joe Fisher, who explained the minimal changes and the reason for the adoption of the code. And I believe he is hopefully still participating in the meeting if you have questions for him.
Mr. Fisher,
Yes, I'm here.
any comments?
No, this basically what we talked about last time. It's just picking up some holes in the code that were left out by or left to public or local adoption with the last code cycles.
Thank you. Comments from commissioners?
No, I
would make a motion to approve ordinance 2020-02 in the matter of the building codes.
I will second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to adopt ordinance 2020-02 in the matter of building codes. Discussion? Seeing none, I would ask for the vote, please.
Commissioner Scarpa?
Aye.
Commissioner Beverly? Aye. Commissioner Anderson?
Aye. Thank you, Mr. Fisher. We appreciate your efforts.
Thank you.
And we will stand in recess for another 15 minutes for tourism promotion and Chamber of Commerce presentation.
what I was going to walk you through is just the, like a tax return based or a financial statement based covenant. So we go back to the relationship record and select Nugget Properties again. That takes me to
Maybe you should announce it.
this section here, there's the covenant management down at the top.
You may want to mention that, so it's-
Okay, we're gonna reconvene the county commission meeting,
Covenant box.
3884. Could you mute your phone, please?
Requirement, covenant types, and options there.
Is that Joe?
No, his was calling.
Can you go in and mute? Remember how they showed us to do that? Go up to the,
Validate.
Oh, whoops, wrong computer. Do I click on it? Huh,
There, that
No.
sounds like it needed.
it's not giving me an option.
So this is
So
the covenant section out of that physical agreement.
I don't know how do we redo this or?
Do you want me to call whoever that is? No, I can't. Yeah, I could.
yeah, you can.
Yeah, what's the number?
Do you want?
I can't see it from here.
It's 212-3884.
541 282.
Yeah. 212. Rejoin. In the meantime, Susanna, do you want to come up to the table and get ready for your presentation? I wonder what happened to Commissioner Howard's desk, that kind of smaller one.
I think I disposed of it,
Okay.
the short one.
Well, I think it was taller than that, though.
We'll find something better.
Just an idea.
And when I had one of those for his.
Do you want to see if she wants to call back in?
Sure. Yeah, we weren't telling you to hang up, Molly.
That wasn't the Kelps lane. I'm tired of this. Not this, but the grade of this. Yeah.
You can call back in, Molly. We were just letting you know that you weren't on.
Oh, there she is. All right, so reconvening the Union County Board of Commissioners regular meeting. We are on item 7, tourism promotion, Chamber of Commerce presentation. Susanna Moore-Heeman, take it away, please.
All right, well, good morning, Commissioners. Thank you for having me. I really can't believe that it's been a year ago, actually, since I came. So it's been quite the whirlwind of a year, just kind of full staff changeover in the office. And so I think we're all just kind of learning together, but just a couple of highlights this year. We were able to, start some new initiatives, a holiday decorating competition. We received fantastic feedback from all of our different communities about that. So we were really pleased to see that some of the things that we're doing are engaging the entire county. The Farmer Market Banquet was one of our most successful to date. So we were able to donate proceeds back to that to the Farm Bureau. And I was actually able to help participate in the scholarship selection committee for that. So 3 students were selected to receive scholarships for agricultural sciences studies. So that was pretty exciting. We're also currently in the process right now of working on revamping our membership benefits to really make sure that the work that the chamber is doing is what is the best for our members and for the community on the whole. So offering different educational opportunities, more engagement and networking opportunities are some of the things that we'll be focusing on going forward as we're getting feedback from our members. We're also really trying to put a strong emphasis on more community service projects. Again, like I said with the holiday decorating competition, we want to look at more ways that we can just do engaging activities that are just for our communities, not fundraisers, not anything else, but just projects like that. We've been trying to work more closely with the university to get stronger engagement from the university. A couple of ideas that we've had with the university as well as the school districts is maybe looking at starting a junior ambassadors program so that we can work with high school seniors, college students to engage them with the business leaders in different opportunities and seeing if we can really kind of change some of the look of how the ambassador program looks. And another idea that we've had is working with the admissions of Eastern and seeing if we can be included in preview days so that way we can get potential students and their families into the communities and really see what Union County as a whole looks like for a college student. And I think that would be really helping and just kind of make the communities less intimidating for them and get them off campus a little bit more. So that's kind of a quick overview of what we did with the chamber and what we're looking forward to do this next year. So chamber specific questions or comments?
I read the information, read the follow-up information. Thank you for providing that. Seems very straightforward. Shelley provided some clarification. I'm good with it. Supportive of it. Good with it.
Same here. After Shelley helped me with clarification on some things, but as far as the job that you guys are doing, I think it's great. And I'm excited that as far as BMCC, that they'll be handling that because everything should go seamlessly. And I do appreciate you working and putting together like the RFP for that and then helping to train them. I think that's very helpful. So I like some of your ideas too. I like that ambassador junior program. I think that's a really good way to bridge the gap between us and the college. Great.
That is a great report. I even like the kiosk visitor information center. Did you see that from the depot? We got to get that out of there.
Yes.
So we got to work on that.
Yeah, I was going to actually go to tourism next. So
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
I thought that was your whole presentation.
No, I was going to kind of break it up just a little bit. I'm not quite that concise of a speaker.
I was like, that was pretty quick.
Yeah, I guess a couple of things. So in terms of the BMCC, I'm really excited. We've already had a few meetings with the Oregon Military Department and working on a handoff. So we will be working together with their department who already manages the rest of the conference centers throughout the state and meeting between them, the chamber, as well as our ongoing or recurring rentals so that way the three of us can kind of sit down, whether that's virtually on the phone or in person, and just go over, here's what the events looked like, here's the needs, any challenges that we've seen come up, so that way they have that kind of personal connection with them through us first, providing them all of the files. We've already did an inventory process and provided them with that. So just working really closely with that, and that's one of the things that with kind of the shifting focus of our resources, we've identified that I think that the chamber will have the opportunity to be a little bit more proactive with, I guess, generating events where I feel like we've kind of been just active, these are the events that we have rather than seeking out new ones. So one of the things that we've talked about wanting to implement is what's called intellectual tourism, and it's where you actually actively recruit and engage and schedule conferences, seminars, educational opportunities. I think I identified a couple, the Oregon Mayors Association, different things like that where you apply and can then be selected with certain, if you can prove and demonstrate your amenities. So hopefully increasing the number of people that we have coming to the area for events and conferences, as well as providing hopefully access to new opportunities, programming, and education to the community. So that's kind of the goal with the chamber's focus in working with BMCC going forward. And then for tourism, this has been, I think, an exciting year. I don't have a baseline, but we hired a marketing consulting firm to come forward, and we worked with them over the past few months, really learning. We basically identified the questions are, who is our primary market? How are they, or how should we be reaching them? And what are the messaging that we want to tell them? So that was been really enlightening. Yakima, Boise, Portland, Seattle are a lot of our large draws. Maybe not surprisingly, a lot of people looking for that outdoor recreation aspect, looking for just kind of getting away from more hustle and bustle. And so really taking that marketing plan, and then we'll be spending this next year. We kind of called it phase 1, phase 2. Phase 1 is developing the marketing plan, and phase 2 will be the implementation of it. So really trying to engage and use a number of different mediums to reach people. Right now, in the past, it looks like there's been a much stronger emphasis on print advertising, which is difficult to measure its effectiveness. We have identified that there are some publications that we do feel it's still important for us to maintain a presence in. So the Eastern Oregon Visitors Association guide would be an important one to still maintain that presence. And then a few others here and there, but we'll be shifting more to the digital sphere and making sure that we have analytics to match to make sure that what we're presenting is to the right audiences based on what we've identified. So. Any questions on that?
I do have some history on the baseline, and especially on the grants and that kind of thing. It's good that we've emphasized helping the local festivals and that kind of thing. So it's a lot higher than it was, which is great because it's serving all of the Union County and the region. So that's really good.
I think it'll be good. One of my goals too will also be hopefully reaching out to a lot of our event organizers. One of the bigger things that was identified is agritourism is a really large movement right now, and especially from a lot of urban audiences, they don't have that natural experience that a lot of us from this area have. And so there is this big movement to experience very organic experiences. And so hopefully reaching out to the different festivals that might have the draw and sharing this information with them so that way they also have the information that we have now that, this is kind of how or where or whom you'll want to market that. So the Huckleberry Festival, for example, might be one that we would say if you had a partnering with the Elkhorn Relay, those two types of events are exactly what people are looking for. Or if there was something on Mara partnered with the beer festival, then you're hitting those exact target audiences. So just hopefully taking the information that we glean from this and sharing it so that everyone can benefit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is great.
Good work.
Good of the order, Commissioner.
Just keeping up with all the different, guidelines that we're getting from the governor and from the White House, and, hoping that there's, a way that we can move forward safely, but yet get the businesses back open. I think that's a priority now. So that's kind of been taking up a lot of our time with him. But very, very important.
Commissioner?
I don't even know where to start, but yeah, no, just plugging along. I don't have any. Oh yeah, who did you did the merit meeting?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, I'll let you. Yeah.
Relatively short. There was questions about testing and what kind of our next phases are for the planning. And I laid out that we submitted a plan and then the rules changed. Actually, the rules changed. Then we submitted the plan, but we still wanted to make that statement. And a lot of moving targets is really the message as far as reopening. That was kind of the gist of that meeting.
Thank you.
And then I have a couple things. One is I want to publicly express my appreciation to Tucker Bowman and all the work he did through Congressman Walden's office. He has transitioned to a new job, and Ryan Ray from Umatilla has taken his place. Wondering if it would be appropriate, maybe at the next meeting, if we do a resolution of thanks like we did for Congressman Walden. Would that be possible to consider?
Yeah.
I like it.
The other thing is our canine or canine op. Molly, I don't even know what her title is, has got coins. I don't know if you can see that or not. Contact Deputy Jensen, and their $10 goes to a good cause, and they're kind of cool if you haven't seen them before. And then the last thing I have under full disclosure, want to let folks know that I will be teaching some courses in conjunction with the Florida Service to prepare new hires for fire season, fire school, helping teach fire school. So and that'll be the second week in June, I believe. More details to follow. But I just want to let everybody know I was doing that. Looks like there's some other counties that are having some conflicts. So.
It's hard to think of fire season when there's snow on the mountain.
Yeah, but they've already had some in the region already. Next meeting.
So our next meeting of the Board of Commissioners will be May 20th, but I would like to remind you that May 18th and 19th will be our budget committee meetings. They'll start at 4 o'clock each day, and we will be doing those through the budget members will be in attendance. We'll make sure we're appropriately social distanced, but we will be doing all of the presentations from the departments and things will be via the Zoom call. So it'll be a little different, but I think it will work. Your budget notebooks should be out later today to you and to the budget committee members, so you'll have some time to look through those before the meetings.
Can't wait for that.
Come on.
Thank you. We are adjourned, I think. Thank you, Alex.